Hey guys, in this video I will be sharing with you the steps that I took in clearing up my son's seborrheic dermatitis, which is commonly known as cradle cap for babies. This is my son Abdullah, fresh from the hospital and his first day at home. So here he's about 3 days old. The small red bumps that you see in this picture, the pediatrician chopped it up as baby acne, and I went along with it because I've seen it many times before, plus I have 2 older children, so that I wasn't really worried about. I'm showing you little snippets of Abdullah so that you can see what we went through in dealing with his cradle cap. Here he is a few days old into his first month of life, and his skin is beautiful, with a nice even tone all over his body. One thing that I do encourage is that you pay close attention to his hair also as we move along. I say maybe about 6 weeks old, Abdullah's forehead began to peel. And neither of my other children's skin did this, so it kind of like threw me off. I don't know if you can tell in this picture or not. Besides him having a cold, this was the start of his seborrheic dermatitis on his forehead. Fast forwarding about another 2 weeks or so, his skin began to get worse, as you can see clearer in this picture. His perfect little skin was no longer perfect. So this caused all kinds of confusion in my mind. I was familiar with Cradle Cap, but I had never seen it to this extent. So of course, I began to do a lot of detective work, and most information that I found at that time was putting oil on it and washing it with the medicated shampoo. So of course I tried that, but I didn't use a medicated shampoo. I used an all-natural baby shampoo, and it did work for that day. But by the next day, it was back like what? So my job wasn't done. I had to keep researching because it was beginning to get worse. Remember I suggested paying attention to his hair? Well, by 3.5 months into his life, it had all fallen out, all except a little bit at the top. And because I have a terrible habit of picking at things, I would pick Abdullah's forehead and scalp every time I held him. This picture shows one of the times I put some oil on it, but the red areas is where I had been picking at it. Although my nails weren't long, they were a hindrance to the healing of my baby's forehead and scalp, despite research suggesting scratching the flakes away. At some point, I began to apply my own common sense, and I cut my nails as short as I could get them. And I immediately began to see change with his skin. Sorry, the pits here aren't as clear, but this was the starting point of his healing process. At first, I was using coconut oil to put on his scalp and forehead, but I wasn't liking the results, so I switched to using avocado oil. So by now, I had stopped picking the flakes and would rub avocado oil on it about 3 to 4 times throughout the day. But this stuff was persistent, so I had to be also. Therefore, I cut the little patch of hair at the top of his head down low so that I can work on his scalp as I continue to do my research. But then I remembered that Abdullah was born with jaundice, so I couldn't help but to wonder if there was a link between the two. Through my own research, I found that it is, and that cradle cap is an indication for a lack of one of the B vitamins, and that biotin is what was missing from our diet. So of course I began to take biotin, and ever since, my perfect little baby is perfect again. This is Abdullah at 6 months and 2 weeks of age. He's full of life, laughter, and of course love, with an even skin tone and a full head of hair. Okay, well, I won't push the hair part. It's still growing in. But I am still happy with the results thus far. So here's to keeping it natural. And go ahead and connect with us on Instagram for more all-natural tips for food and, of course, beauty. And until next time, you be you and be natural.